Hello, what's up everybody? It's GleeCon and I'm here again with another episode of Warcraft. You rock. Why? Because you clicked, you started watching the show. If you like what you see, smash that subscribe button. Go ahead and tell every single person you know. You know, like those people that stand on the corner and they wave signs and they want you to vote for their guy or girl. That should be you. With a big GleeCon sign. Watch this show. Let's get that magic number to where we want to be. On this show, what is it? Well, if you're a stranger, we do everything. We cover every book, every little weird piece of lore, every mainstream piece of lore, and every single quest of every single game. We've done all the pre-World of Warcraft games, and now we're on a World of Warcraft Classic walkthrough. We're in Desolace and doing a Horde run, and we're in the middle of the insanity of what it means to truly do every quest in the game. Where possible, you know, there's some class quests we have to just cover. But we did the Gelkis quest line, and we've been grinding out the Magram quest line, and we're almost done restoring our honor with that clan. So stay a while and listen as we finish out the grind to get Magram back to, well, we're back to neutral, but then get it up to friendly. Whoops, I guess I stayed in Thunderbluff and I forgot to fly back. Why else are we here? Well, we did donate. So I guess we're going to fly back right now, and we can talk a little bit while we fly. I think I was going to do that, maybe.
Reputation for strength and speed is well earned.
Maybe I got logged? I don't know, because the only reason why we came here was to turn in our silk cloth, which I clearly did. And then for some reason, I was right there by the flight path and never clicked fly. I don't know what happened there. My plan was that for us to be in Shadow Prey Village when we awoke here. It's not a super far flight. Gotta kind of fly along and go back. So let's look at our rep and see where we're at. We are at 1100s, 35. So we basically need, you can't count the 15 is erroneous. We're never gonna get that back. So you can call it 1120. So that means we need 80, 880, 1,880. So that is basically 5 times 18, which is 90 plus 4. So we need 94 kills. So based on our past, that is going to take us somewhere in the ballpark of about 45 minutes. So we do have a little bit of a grind still ahead of us. We put in 2 solid hours last time. And sure, we did a little bit of like running back and selling and stuff like that, but that's just a frame of reference. If you intend on doing this on your own, plan to need, unless you're maybe a mage, but there's so many ranged casters. I don't think even like a frost mage could increase the grind that much. If you were way overpowered, you could do it. But plan to give yourself approximately 2.5 hours. I've done this. This is the 3rd time I've done this grind, and each time that's what it took me. It took me about 2.5 hours. So that's pretty consistent. There's at around level 40. There's only so fast that you can kill the mobs. We are pretty darn close. Also, we're 96% of the way to leveling up. We need 3,800 more XP. So we're definitely going to get that in the killing of these mobs, which is cool. And today on this episode, we're also going to finish out the Magram chain. So the Magram chain will see us going into the Gelkis cave to get these like stones or something. And then it will further see us going back maybe into the same cave and killing their leader. So both of those things are much harder to do. So one of the main reasons why we go Gelkis first and Magram is because when you're Magram, they just have a series of tents over here. So when you need to loot their specific items, picking them off from around their tents is a lot easier than breaking into their cave. That's in a winding kind of valley system right here. And then killing their leader, where you can pull him out of the cave, ignore his ads, and then flee, is a lot harder when that leader is deep in a cave. So you're basically forced now, like on a practical level, this one's not that much harder. It's not going to be hard for us at all at our level. Then the next one is to... it's kind of good. It's actually sort of kind of easier. You don't have to go anywhere, really. You just have to go get an advanced target dummy. I already procured one on another account. There were none for sale when I looked on this character, I don't know, like a week ago. But I already had one saved just for this eventuality on a Horde character. I don't have one for Gleek and Soul, so she's going to be a little bit out of luck. However, I did forget to send it until right before I pressed record, so it takes an hour for mail. So it's going to take us until we're waiting on an hour before we can even complete that stage of the quest. But to grind out the rest of this rep, and then to do those other 2 quests, that should probably take us about an hour anyway. So, and then we'll quickly turn that one in, and then you kill... Actually, then maybe it's killing their leader? Yeah, I think I got that one wrong. And then we're back to killing the Marauding again. Now, I don't think we have... Yeah, we didn't get a second mouthpiece from them. We can't eat that one Goblin Devil again. It's actually not a bad idea. Get our spirit back up. And what did I say? We need 94 kills. Okay, so if you look, that's 3. So I'm going to try just for fun to keep us going. But we'll also do another talking point, and I like to steal from the Reddit. So there's a classic, there's a classic WoW Reddit, and I think there's actually like a WoW lore Reddit too. I like both of those. They're entertaining to go be a part of. But one of the Reddit posts I saw today was, what is your most embarrassing moment in WoW Classic? And, you know, it was basically like boneheaded, usually class related, like, I did not realize such and such existed. So then that made me want to think about. So there were some ones that popped to mind, but for me, I would say if I start going down this path, it's going to be much more, what are some of the like most painful things by class that I could do? And that's tough because, you know, what were they? I don't know why. So, for instance, let's say we have a blacksmith. I mean, not a blacksmith, like a paladin. What are some embarrassing, sucky things about me playing Pally? I would just... And then it becomes less funny. It's not about like, oh, what a bonehead. It's just about like, how am I just not skilled at that? I'd say I've had a couple embarrassing moments where... not maybe embarrassing, but boneheaded moments where I thought you could bubble and to protect yourself from fall damage, which you can do in retail, and you cannot do that here. But I don't think I've ever like had a horrific one where I died from it. Warrior. I mean, we have been trying. I think the entire experience on Varrock, trying to play as a protection warrior with a sword and board through the game experience, that's terrible. I'll never do that. Well, we'll never do any of it again, because the great thing about retail is all of the specs are independently viable. You are so overpowered when you're like leveling. Ooh, what is this? Ooh la la. So this is a... Oh, I forgot we got the cool Gelkis. This is more mail we could wear. It is Wicked Chain chest piece of stamina. A 210 chest piece, worse than what we have. That gives 14 stamina. I can't say that I care for that. But I would say, yeah, just that experience of being Varrock. That whole 32 levels or whatever we did with him. 30-something levels. That... Leveling as a sword and board is in itself embarrassing. Shaman here? Well, I've made some boneheaded moves where I messed my spec up. You guys are watching, so there's probably some glaringly bad thing I do, not using certain totems, or... You know, I'm sure there's something. I actually really like... You know what, the weirdest, I don't know if I would call it embarrassing, but maybe it is, because it's a total misunderstanding of the class. As I had a Volpera Resto Shaman that I used to like to play on retail. One of my alts. So there was a time period right after the level squish happened where you could basically go join any dungeon and you'd be paired with anyone. So if you just did like looking for group random dungeon finder, so let's say I go do a classic dungeon like Wailing Caverns or something like that, and then I'm level whatever, you know, 18 or 20, and they are sticking me with some 60s or whoever just picked up stuff for looking for group. We're running around doing this damage, and this happened like 10 damages in a row, where 10 dungeons in a row, where I was the healer, and there's a when you are really low level and your kit is so small on retail, it might be a little better now, but this is before the new skill trees came out. It was so easy to, like, if you watch on details, like, they make your damage is so high. Like a sword and board protection warrior at level 18 will be like grossly out damaging like level 60 arms warrior or whatever. It's kind of silly. So, oh, we leveled up, we did it. So because of the because of that level scaling and because of the crit factor, I don't know if it's still the case, but basically there was a synergistic talent where it would be if there, I believe it was something like if a mob was under the effect of flame shock, lightning bolts would like have a super high chance of crit and do good crit damage, something like that. There was some kind of like synergistic effect with some of the shocks and some crits, and I don't remember exactly. Okay, we got our final totem. We have finally opened this tier. Let's actually we'll look at that later. We don't have to look at it right now. That means we have some fishing to do. So if we wind up having some time to kill, we have 5 points of fishing to do now, which we can do in Shadow Prey Village. This is a good place to fish. Why not? But what wound up happening was there was no challenge in healing. It was very, very easy. And, you know, I just throw a couple totems down, and then I could really pour all my energy into doing damage. And so I was consistently leading the damage boards on details. And if there is one thing that will piss off DPS watching details meters, it's when the healer is the top DPS, and when like nobody's dying, nobody's carrying debuffs around, there's just, you can't otherwise complain. And on at least 3 separate occasions, without any verbal warning at all, nobody giving me nobody saying, hey, don't do that, I was booted from dungeons, sometimes halfway in, just from, which is weird, I don't understand, but just from being top DPS, I received a lot of hate. So maybe somebody out there more knowledgeable than me can explain. Was I making life hard on people? Was I ruining their parse numbers or whatever, and they didn't want to see that? Like, was it hurting their like what was it, .io raid? What is it, raid.io, whatever it is? The little ranking system, but that only ranks you once you do mythic, I thought. So I'm not sure what the problem is, but it happened more than once, and I was just like, and nobody would ever give me a reason. Like, I had a couple times where people were like, man, you're like, sort of kind of backdoor, like your DPS is higher than like a healer normally is, kind of, or it should be. So anyway, maybe someone could explain that to me. That's less of an embarrassment and more of a mystery for now, but it could turn into an embarrassment because it could be like, you were screwing everything up, you were making but threat management is not hard on retail. It's ridiculous. It's like, if you're a tank, you just get free automatic threat. So, always been curious about that one. So that's my shaman moment there, where I'm like, what the absolute heck? Hunter is easy because you guys have watched it. I actually kept it. It's recorded for all posterity. The fact that I did not realize that you could train a pet at a pet trainer, probably at least 20 levels in. I don't remember how long it took, but I was like, man, my pets just can't hold thread at all. And then I realized there was a pet trainer. So, that is part of the reason why I think it put a bad taste for hunters in my mouth, and I'm just terrible at being a hunter. And that's part of it. Also, I'm terrible at kiting. Like, that's not just like a whoopsie brain for it. It's just... I'm terrible at kiting with a hunter. Let's just say that. I'm not that bad about kiting with a frost mage. I do it on my frost mage all the time. You guys have maybe seen me do some on Millie, but now that's my other main that I do off camera. I've had some dungeons where I've like saved the team in Nomergon on one run just kiting. Kiting. Alright, so what else do we got here? Some druid. Well, again, my claim to fame here, I wouldn't say necessarily it's embarrassing, but it has definitely scarred me for life. So when I came back to retail, right when BFA was going, I made a new character, an assassin on my own, and that became my main and is still my main when I play to this day. Although he may fall by the wayside because, well, he does hold all my achievements and titles, so I don't know. His name, old Twinkle. But the day it finished installing was actually me and wife game day. So before I ever played with that, my actual true first character I ever made was a restoration druid. So I thought it would be a good idea to be able to heal my wife. Provide her a little insurance, if you will. And I should have known things were bad because I started off by having a god-awful name. So I was really, really overthinking it. We probably spent half an hour, 45 minutes just trying to name our characters. We got sucked down the rabbit hole. I'm looking up everything about druids. I'm looking up historical, real, fictional druid names. And what I end up landing on is, I can't even remember what it was, but it was some kind of old Gaelic druid style, the original, it was like Mui Groth, or I can't remember exactly what it was. So I was like, yeah, that's cool, I'm going to be super serious, and I'm going to roleplay, and I like this idea, and which I never do, so I don't know why. I never stick with that, and I'm never as happy when I take that route as when I just take a silly route. I prefer to make myself a joke. So I should have known things were going to go bad then, and then I begin the leveling experience. Now, as a partner, as a duo, fine, it's okay. And being in dungeons, no complaints. Healing dungeons was easy and fun. It's a good experience as a resto druid. It was back then on retail. This is about the time, remember, end of BFA and then into Shadowlands. Or like halfway into BFA and then into Shadowlands. So, what ends up happening, as I keep playing, it's a nightmare. I would say Resto Druid was possibly the worst leveling experience I've ever had. Doing PvE content outside of group content as a Resto Druid through the end of Shadowlands and into the new skill trees that came out with Dragonflight. So for those like 3 years of my life, I would just curl up in a ball inside and die anytime I had to play that character outside of a dungeon. It's just so bad. So that's, I guess, part of the embarrassment. It sort of goes along with what we did with Varrock. Just sticking with a spec that you should never do and forcing myself to painfully quest with something that's clearly not designed for that. And I did it with that druid. Alright, I skipped Death Knight when we were at the top. So Death Knight, I don't know what kind of embarrassment I have with the Death Knight. I'm not particularly great at Death Knight. I would say one of my top moments in terms of my pain scale, I had a High Mountain Tauren Unholy Death Knight. I like that character. It was a good character. Oh, my clam meat is gone. Okay, so what can we put instead? The Carrion Surprise gives me 8 if I want to be munching on that. And then I gotta save. My Clamlet Surprise I can save. I also have Turtle Bisque, so I have 11 of those. Alright, we'll start eating carrion. That sounds delicious. Yum. So I don't necessarily have an embarrassing moment, but I can remember... So I used to do it because I would make every alt. I tried to make an alt of every single spec in the game. That was my goal. And so what we started counting classes last time. I think there's maybe 13 or something right around that ballpark, not counting Evoker. And I fully got one spec of every class. I mean, one class on both factions. So however many classes there are, again, let's say there's somewhere in the ballpark of 13, I think, because what? There's 3 plate, 3 cloth, that's 6. 2 scale, that's 8. I mean, 2 mail. And then, are there 5 leather? There's at least 4. Because there's Druid, Rogue, Monk, Demon Hunter. I feel like I'm forgetting something. So there's 12 classes. Now there's 13, right? With Evoker, now there's 13. I think, because there's the 9 original classes, then it goes up to 10 with Death Knight, then 11 with Monk, and then 12 with Demon Hunter. Yeah. And then nothing else has been added on until now it's 13. Okay, so 12 classes. So I had one of each faction, so that's a good 24. And I was very, very close to finishing my list. I just kind of lost steam. So there's very few specs that I have not taken. This was during the Shadowlands, end of BFA and into Shadowlands. This became my passion project. I was a real altaholic. So I ran through leveling up from 0 to 60 or whatever it was 30 times at least. And there are a few specs I've never done. Because of that, there are just a few that I've held out. So, going down the list, I don't know if I ever... So, for Warrior, I've done an Arms Warrior back in the day for Classic, but I don't believe I ever redid one in retail. So, Arms Warrior is one that's on my list of like, hey, we could go back and replay with this, although I did... That was my first level 60 ever, or 70, whatever it was back in the day. Paladin, I've done all 3. I've had a Prot Pally, multiple Rets, as you see here, but I also have one in-game. And I did a Resto Pally. When Tauren were allowed to become a Pally, that was my... I was a Holy Paladin. So Paladin was one I've knocked out. Death Knight, I've never done Frost. So in this story, this is what made me think of it, as I made this High Mountain Torrent Unholy in this period when I was making a spec. And I took this character, for each one I would choose a different X-Pack to level up in. Once I got bored of the questing through actually, Shadowlands was endgame. So that was how you got from whatever, 60 to 70 or whatever. 50 to 60, I can't remember. And I would just pick a different one to go through. So for that one, I just happened to pick Wrath of the Lich King. And I was doing the Grizzly Hills. Love that. One of my favorite zones of all time. And there's a part of the Grizzly Hills where you're killing like these corrupted furbolgs in these old hollowed-out trunks of failed attempts at world trees or whatever. Like Ordrasil, something like that type of named tree. Well, there is one particular quest line that ends up having you go to this corrupted tree, you talk to a druid out front, and you get to pick what he will be. He can be a healer, he can be a tank, or he can be a DPS addition to your party. Or to just you. Then you go fight this strong... That's a cap, but it's cloth. This strong, like, elite. And it is very hard. And all I can remember is being my unholy... Death Knight. And just banging my head up on the wall. Trying that quest over and over. Dying and trying and dying and dying and dying. Over and over and over again. Failing. Trying to do everything I could. All my little... cooldowns and tough one. I think I ended up gimmicking it myself because I think there is a way where you could summon the mob, log out, position an alt next to it like a max level alt, log out, quickly log in with the other alt once you've tagged it, and then log back in and loot. I think I tried that. I don't remember if I was successful. Or maybe I just ultimately ended up getting help. Because also, that's the crappy thing about retail. You get yourself in a bind like that, there's like no one to help you in retail at all. Nobody is flying from the Dragonflight lands out to... I guess that's the downside. Here in Classic, you just start posting and looking for group, and eventually someone will come help you. We're gonna find that today when we go kill Hratha again. But when you're doing that, like, fat chance, good luck trying to find, or even worse, whoops, even worse, try doing some of the Burning Crusade, like, Shadow Moon Valley, or Netherwing type, like, phased quests where you need to have special goggles to even see the quest mobs, and you have to be at specific points in the chain to even help. Like, that freaking chance. I am not looking forward to being able to doing some of those on our own. Because you can't even, like, have a second account and get them to help you, because they have to be, people have to be, like, very specific to where you are in the chain. So I'm a little bit worried about that. We'll have to cross that bridge when we get there. That's one of the main reasons why I think it would be cool to have a companion on this show. Anybody that's interested when we get to those, if you want to coordinate some team runs, maybe you don't want to be part of the whole process, but you want to start a schedule, and we say, like, hey, I will do the Burning Crusades experience on Alliance with you, and then you don't even have to be on camera or on mic. You just, you know, party up, and you can contribute to the show in the chat. I would entertain that. I would love to get some more voices on this show, so it's not always just me rambling for 2 hours or whatever. But yeah, so Death Knight there. I never have done a Frost Death Knight. I've never played that spec. I'm intrigued. I would play one. If I play a Death Knight with you guys, when we do, one of my Death Knights that we play will be Frost, because it's just, I've never done it, and I want to experience it. So that will be something we do on this show. And same thing, when we do warrior, I'll probably make an arms warrior for my warrior, just so I can round out and do some of these specs I've not done in a while. Okay, we're getting a little bit deep into the need for nectar, but I don't think we really have to worry. I can just cool off. What's my rep at right now? Okay, we're down to only needing 500. That's awesome. So 5 times 5, so 25 kills. We are totally in game in sight. We are 30 minutes only in. We need 30 more minutes before I'll be able to get that mail. So we're gonna be bottlenecked a little bit, waiting for that. It's okay because we can do some fishing. We have some other stuff we can do. Alright, so, what else? What are some of the other classes here? So, Shaman, I love Shaman so much. I've definitely done Resto, as I mentioned, and I have done Elemental. It's a fun spec to play on retail. I don't think I've done a full enhanced Shaman on retail, and I would love to do that. It sounds fun. I'm all about that. You know, give me that for a try. So I'll probably go enhance just to give it experiment with it. But I can't remember. I might have done it and I just don't remember. That's when, because Shaman's one of my favorite classes in retail. I've just always loved it. I would say it's definitely in the top 3. It's my trifecta of like the holy grail of like these are my favorite. Shaman is up there. Sometimes Shaman is my favorite. The toolkit is just so fun. Hunter, on the other hand, I hate. I've done all the Hunter specs. Ironically, despite hating it, I've tried that all. I would say between the 3, I like Marksman Hunter best. I do not like Beastmaster Hunter. It's just not fun for me. Not my favorite. I know people swear by it. I know it often can get near the top of the charts. There's a lot of fun things you can do with a cluster of pets. I get it. I understand the appeal. It's just not for me. And Survival Hunter is okay. It's kind of an interesting hybrid. I'd be interested in playing it again to see how does it feel now in retail. How do they make that spec feel? When and if we do a Hunter, I'll probably go Survival just because I'm curious as to what that kind of looks like nowadays. Evoker, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I made I don't even remember what my main one was. I truly can't remember if I either made a Devastation or whatever the other one is, the Restoration. And right now I'm an Augmentation one, which I do think is kind of fun. I like that. Playing that with my wife. I like how you're kind of doing solid DPS, but it's like an all-around character. You have some healing options, and then you're focused so heavily on buffing and extending the time of your buffs and everything. I kind of like it. It's kind of neat. So I would definitely, one of the 2 I will do will be when we finally eventually get there and we're doing Dragonflight stuff. So years down the road from now, I'll pick whichever one I haven't done as one of the 2 if we end up doing 2. Now Rogue I love. I've done Assassin spec, that's my main. I don't remember what my other one. I did make another one. I kind of think I did Combat Rogue as my other Rogue. I'm trying to remember. I'd have to actually look because I don't remember. I kind of like so protective about Rogue that like I was hoarding, saving when I was gonna want to play my other Rogue specs until like the end of my run. It was like a carrot at the end of the stick to get through that project. Alright, I'm gonna drink a juice. We're too low in mana. So we're sitting at, yeah, we need basically 240. So 12 more kills. That's nothing. And I feel like maybe I've played subtlety, or maybe I did subtlety and I was saving combat. I can't really remember. Yeah, I'd have to look it up. Either way, I would do, because of that, when we run rogue, I will do the other two that aren't assassin, because I play assassin so much. We'll dip our toes in. I think I did combat, but we'll dip our toes into combat and subtlety. Okay, so then, and I'm sure I've done so much weird crap. I would say my most embarrassing moment as a rogue, other than this game where I'm abysmally bad at it, is I can remember when Shadowlands started and I was running Mythics, just starting to get into the Mythics, and I think I was doing maybe a Mythic 8 around there, and this is like the first season. And I was just starting to get into Mythic, so I wasn't fully geared yet. And we were doing that dungeon for the Ardenwell, whatever it's called, zone, where it's like a maze, and you have to fight the little fairies and choose the right path, and there's all these mods and add-ons for that. I can't remember what it's called at this point. And my DPS was just so... For my item level, like, I was one of the highest item level people, but I was like, between the 3 DPS, I was sitting at the bottom, and they were like, dude, you suck, basically. And the reason why it wasn't 100, yes, part of me was sure it was me that was not good, and I tried my best to improve, but a big part of it was when, in the beginning of the life cycle of Shadowlands, the assassin spec was terrible. It was so unwieldy and complicated to apply your damage. So you basically had to, the source of your mythic AoE damage was to apply as, assassin was not an AoE spec. Once we got to a boss and go toe-to-toe, I'd be right up there, top of the damage meters. But in the rest of the dungeon, the AoE part of it, it was just painful. Here's a person killing. We're going to be asking for help soon, but not yet. So I can't even say, hey, do you want to hang around for like, I don't know, an hour or so while I do some stuff? And eventually you can help me. But then we also need to grind and get the mouthpiece to drop. So yeah, I was just really bad about constantly tabbing and making macros and stuff so that I could always reapply bleeds, and it was just so much work to constantly bop over and apply bleeds. Okay, we're getting close here to kills needed. So it was embarrassing in that sense, in that I was bad. My DPS was so bad, but then when you would look on like the meter boards or whatever on raid.io, assassin would always be at the bottom of the list. So it wasn't just me. The spec sucked for mythics. It's fine for raiding because that's boss focused, and the kit is quite nice. We did it, guys. We freaking did it. The grind is over. We will have to do the grind again on Gleek and Dessa, but the grind is over. If you look at some of the stuff we have, look, we've opened up some new dungeons now that we're 41, some new quests. Twisted Evils, that was already there. The Legends of Maraudon, and Vile Tongue Corruption. So these are all quests that when we finally do Maraudon, we'll have to go hunt around the zone to pick some stuff up. But it's higher level. This is the first real zone where it's kind of weird that the dungeon quests are just so far beyond what we have to do, or what the zone you're in. Swamp of Sorrows with the Sunken Temple is similar, and Feralus with Dire Maul, sort of like that too. So we're going to finish this chain today, which means tomorrow we're going to run Razor... Well, yeah, tomorrow we're going to run Razor Fen. No, we're not. Well, it depends. Maybe. I'm going to see how I feel. We'll see how tomorrow goes as an overall day and how I feel getting home from work and all that stuff. Really, that's how it kind of works for me on Mondays and Wednesdays. I just got to feel it out. If and whether or not I end up doing an Assassin's Creed, just putting one on the Patreon, or whether we run Razor Fen Downs. Will I feel like and have the time to run a dungeon tomorrow? Maybe. It's a possibility. If you were to ask me right now, I feel like, yeah, let's bust it out and get it out of the way. But the next episode we do for this character will be Razor Fen Downs. Then Tuesday, I can already say that's not going to happen. But we'll do a shorty on that one. Look, there's old Rexar again. And Misha. I love that pair. So Tuesday we'll be reading... I don't think it's going to be a fable. I think we're actually done with the fables for a little while. I think we're going to be starting another playlist. And it's going to wind up being one of our longest playlists. Minus, like, the classic walkthrough playlist. It's going to be where we go and... There used to be something that was available on the old World of Warcraft website, which is now defunct. It doesn't exist anymore. They rebooted the entire site a few years back. And a lot of the things that used to be available are obsolete and they're archaic now. But through sites like Wowpedia, some people have diligently saved those from the waste bins of time. And one of those was there used to be a encyclopedia, like a World of Warcraft encyclopedia that was regularly updated and posted on the site. And eventually they just ditched it. I don't know why. Maybe they just thought we can get more money if we just sell this in terms of chronicles. Maybe it's because of the amount of lore that was retconned. And they're like, oh man, curating this list is actually going to be insane. I'm not sure exactly. Look, these guys are our friends now. They forgot how many of them we murdered. So the person that you turn in over here is up on this hill with a couple guards. So anyway, we are eventually going to read our way through that entire encyclopedia, and it's going to be going on for quite some time. So we're going to start that process as well. Here we go, we can turn this quest in. The Gelkis cry when they hear your name, Gleekinsol. Who is this guy? His name is Warug, so it's a dude. They fear you and they hate you. They hate you like they hate the Magram. Make you strong like Magram. We will see. The Gelkis think that our centaur mother, Theradras, protects us. They are stupid. No one protects a centaur. The Magram do not need protection. We are the strongest. Show the Gelkis they are stupid. Go to the cave in their village. They hoard crystals in the cave. The tears of Theradras. Destroy the tears and bring me the broken pieces. Okay, we will. So this is our other quest. Let's actually also complete Magram Alliance. That's the Horde only version of this. Going to the old spreadsheet. Yesterday we didn't really complete any true quests. But today we are. Alright, so, whoops, we need to be back here a little bit. So, Magram Alliance is now done. Love it. Bong bong. Okay, we completed that. Oops, I'm aggroing some mobs here. Put it off. We went a little off-road. Little. No! Okay, so then we just picked up Broken Tears. So Broken Tears is a real quest. This is a real thing. Right here, it's technically neutral because anybody that's allied can pick it up, and we're not going to check it off until we finish it on Gleekinsol. I love that we're 41. Yesterday I didn't get a ton, but I did a decent amount as we just continued. There's a lot of really easy, so I did do a moderate amount of quests because there's just a bunch of really easy low-level quests in Duskwallow that you can do, and that's what I'm still working on. But yeah, so that Wildpedia, I'm actually kind of looking forward to it because it's going to be, it's like a precursor to Chronicles. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see what has changed, what have they retconned as we go back and kind of look at it like a historical document. Plus, it's just nice, short reads, a lot of in-depth things. Each one's like a full web page, and there are probably hundreds of entries. So we're going to start just doing one little shorty. I really think that's what we're doing. I think we have a few of those before we do our next, whatchamacallit, our next short story or whatever, our fable. Because those are the only things I was really skipping. I also skipped some movies, so I think what I'll do, here's my plan on this, tell me if it sounds terrible. I don't want to get into any, like, copyright kind of legal battle. And two, I think it might be kind of boring. I don't necessarily want to watch full-length YouTube videos together and then just be like, yeah, this is the YouTube video, and we watch it, I pause it. Like, sure, if it's a cinematic for the game, those are short and they're tied into the game, we can definitely do that. But for, like, actual long content, I don't know if I'm feeling that, you know? So I think the best option might be, for those type of videos, to look at the transcript. So we'll kind of feel out some of them and see how it goes, but I think on YouTube you can just download transcripts. So if we can find transcripts for these things, we can read the transcripts and talk about them, and I can put some of that stuff in the background, kind of tackle it slightly differently. But we're gonna see. Excuse me. It'll depend on the video. There's just a couple interesting. There's just different things. They do like a precursor to what's happening in the world of Pandaria long before that game is ever like an apple in its daddy's eye. They see. So this is what I meant before. So you have to make your way up here. You can do what I just did. You can skirt around, but imagine us trying to not kill to get in there. Okay, we avoided that one. So you can probably get up to the cave itself to steal these crystals, even though that was a little tricky right there. But now, how are you going to get... You can't, because you need the time to loot the crystal. So there's no way, like, you'd have to kill this one. You'd have to kill these two guys, so right there, boom. That would have tapped us into needing to kill 10 more. So do I want to... You know, we would have just added 10 more kills on. We only need 3 crystals. That's, I guess, a positive to all this. We just discovered... we just discovered Bolgan's hole. Don't tell. See, look, there's a second crystal. We probably could have got that one without fighting. And then maybe with the pat, we maybe could have avoided that pat. So maybe you could get through this. And you could do some... I'm not saying it can't be done. Ooh, I should have done that. You could get some creative... I'm sure we could do... You could do some kiting and... You know... You could pull and maybe use some traps and whatever. You could get creative and bring some mobs out to that bridge and whatever, but that to me is just almost more work than just killing the... We killed 5 mobs, so we could have probably been patient. And look, that one already respawned. You could have probably been patient and got away, and maybe this guy wasn't a one with a earth elemental. So maybe you get lucky and you can get away with killing 1 mob there. And then you're just kiting and locking and freezing 1 mob. Okay. So it's possible, it's just not as easy. Alright, now we need to get out of here. Alright, so we do still have... It's kind of good, actually, that we have some fishing to do, because we still have... We have 10 minutes to wait until my mail gets here. So this is going to be... we actually, let's not even go back. Let's go right to the fishing village. That will save us more time. Rather than going there and back, let's go do our fishing now. And then the mail should come in, and we can pick it up at the mailbox in the village. And then go turn in Bam Bam both quests at the same time. And then we will be on killing the Khan. So that will be going back into that cave. And then that will be on the final quest of the chain, which is going back into the Valley of the Spears to fight the Maraudon. I will again do it kind of like I did last time, where I will hunt. Hopefully we'll get a better drop rate on the mouthpiece. We'll start promoting within the channel while I'm still hunting for that. And then we'll wrap it all up by starting to spread that promotion out. Now that I'm level 41, if we don't get a bite, I would try some of these others. I think you do need jade for something, so we could put that in the bank. What do we have here? Oh yeah, that has to be 45 where we get that note. Yeah, we're all good on everything. In the next zone, like I mentioned before, we kind of got into this. We're gonna do dungeons for a while. So that's something else we could do while we kind of look and wait and grind. We can kind of take a peek at what do we need to set ourselves up for Razorfin Downs. Not a lot. I think we might have to travel. It's in the Barrens, so the trap, and then we'll finally actually. So actually, you know what? Barrens is an example of a zone that
Relax.
that did get us going there. So citrine, that's a tough one. Do we need citrine? Let's look up citrine and jade. I think citrine is kind of a rare, like a weirder one. You don't need it for a lot of stuff. It's a reagent for... There are some leatherworking things. Okay, so we do have to keep that. And then we'll also look up jade. Just the item. Which jade is a reagent for also some things right there. That gem-studded leather belt gets us. So we do have to put some of that in there. Better safe than sorry, because you also will randomly get quests from time to time that are like asking you to collect some gems. We're also super close to that last silk we built up our stack of wool, but we're not quite there. That I think we can buy a bobber or
Don't be
whatever. Night crawlers. Just buy one. The night crawlers are fine. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and open this and put this on there. Alright, we're sitting, we need about 7 minutes until we are good. But we need this guy. We need our fishing to be at 205. And then, yeah, once we get to 225, once we get to level 46, we're going to have to pause whatever we're doing and do that Nat Pagel quest line. Which we are already artisan cooking and first aid and skinning. But we also need artisan leatherworking. We're just not there yet on that. So that's just a harder one to do. That's going to follow us and take us to nearer to the end of the game. So most likely, just from doing this on the last character, we were at 5.5, so my guess is we're probably still going to be at about 5.5 casts. But we're on forced waiting of time anyway. Like I said, we've got to wait till right around 11:45 before that mail comes through. If it doesn't work, if I'm wrong, that timer should be an hour, but if something bungs up the whole thing, we can always go to the auction house and see what we can see. Okay, so we were having a good productive conversation about the different classes. Monk, I've you know what I've never done? It's another one of those examples like with the Rogue where I put some things off. I've done Mistweaver, I liked it. I've done Brewmaster, I liked it. I've never done the Windwalker or whatever. I've never done the DPS Monk, which is a popular one. So that actually only took us 4. We finally got that 4 one I mentioned before. She does have some. We can cook some trout too. Yeah, so that's interesting. Do I have any recipes I need to worry about? We do need to go with the heavy mage weave. So, oh no, it was 5. I was wrong. It did take us 5 fish. Yeah, so I'm interested in that, and I can't say I've ever had a super embarrassing moment as a monk, other than I have had the obligatory, like, roll or use the little dash that you can get instead, like in a mythic dungeon where I've just dashed off. Particularly, there's that mythic dungeon in Shadowlands where you're fighting the voodoo god, whatever his name is, Wamsandi. Can't remember his name right now. Wamsandi. And you have to, like, fight his hands or something, and then you go around at certain phases of the fight and you have to destroy, you have to jump through these portals. It's a fun fight, actually. I like it. But I have shot myself through the portal very early in the fight and took myself out of the fight. Probably more than once. But I like that spec, and I just really saved the Windwalker because I felt like it would be the most fun. But my most memorable experience with a monk, I don't know why, is I was playing with my son when he was not too cool to play with me. We would play together a lot more, and we'd made a couple pandas, and he was a rogue because he was younger, so dad mostly plays a rogue, so he was looking after his old dad, and he made himself a Pandarin rogue, and I made myself a Brewmaster monk so I could protect him. And we tried to play through all kinds of stuff in the game, and I don't remember where we were in the game, but there was like an island kind of out in the middle of nowhere that had an elite. I don't even think it was necessarily an elite rare. It was a gold dragon frame. It was probably quest related. It was a very difficult elite, and I basically we decided we were going to fight it, and we probably took 20 minutes to fight this thing, if not more, because I got myself into a mode where I could just stay alive indefinitely against him. Very slowly do damage. But I could keep myself going indefinitely with all the cooldowns, with everything that a Brewmaster Monk can do with self-healing and everything. And my son would fight with me, die, res, slowly make his way back while I was still fighting. Repeat that process like 5 times throughout the course of this fight, and we eventually beat it. But it was one of the more memorable experiences I've had as a monk. Maybe it was embarrassing that I spent so much time fighting a mob that I don't think it probably dropped like nothing at all. There was like no point to killing it. I just did it. But that was also fun. It's also probably embarrassing that I've never played the Windwalker Monk or whatever. That's probably the most embarrassing. You play Monk and you never do that one, ever. Never tried it once, never rolled that character. So I will definitely be rolling one of those when we play. Interested in doing that. So Druid, I've done all the specs. I already talked about the Resto Druid that I had. But I haven't done all the specs. I've done Resto. Now we've done Feral. But in retail, there's actually 4 specs. I've done a balanced Druid. Hate it. But I did do that, like a Boomkin. I made that. I hate that. I just do not enjoy that spec. And then that leaves the other 2, the DPS and the... I don't think in retail I've done either one. Bear or Feral, like Cat or Bear. The Tank Guardian and whatever the other one's called. Just Cat spec of Feral. I think maybe they call it Feral. We're already almost done fishing. We should get that mail any second. So those will be the 2 specs we run when we do Druids, because those are the 2 I haven't run. So that's good. That's all solved for me. But I already talked the embarrassment of that. So that's Monk. I've done Monk, Road, Druid. There's another. What leather am I missing? Oh, Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter is. Oh, there we go. We just got in the mail. Just came in from Momkin. Perfect timing. Perfect timing, because we are like 1 to 2 fish away. Probably 2 fish from being done. 2 to 3, I should say, actually. So now we're 1 to 2 fish away from being done. I love the Demon Hunter class. I've done both specs. There's only 2 for Demon Hunter. So I've done both. We can make both when we want. There we go. We're all done. Vengeance is probably... It's definitely in my top 3. I struggle choosing which one I like more between the Shaman, the Rogue, and the Vengeance Demon Hunter. It's just so fun to play. Havoc is fine. I don't mind it. But I love playing a Vengeance Demon Hunter. To me, there's just nothing comparable. Alright, so here's our advanced target dummy that I bought overpriced ages ago. I want to find a little fire to cook some of these fish in. That was really good. Good timing on us. There's got to be a fire. I don't think I can cook on these little torches. Probably not. Okay, let's try to find a little cooking area. Okay, not there. Is there like a pot somewhere? Can I cook with like a cauldron? You can, I just need to find one. Can I cook on the forge? You would think so. I don't see anything. Which would be dumb, right? Wouldn't it be dumb? Since you come here for cooking, wouldn't it be dumb for this place not to have any cooking options? Yeah, that would be dumb. But what's really the dumb part is I'm probably just not finding it. It's probably here somewhere. That looks like an alchemy table. You can cook on cooking tables. Oh, that's just a regular table. Okay. I'll just go around clicking cook and maybe I find something to cook on. Can't do that one. Well, I mean, I guess I could make my own fire. Does that dude have something up there? That seems unsafe, but... Because I think that's where you buy the cooking thing from. Does he have... Yeah, he's got cooking supplies, but no stinking cooking area. Dumb. What in the world? I guess I'll go to the general goods person and make a freaking fire. I hate that. Little torches everywhere, but none that we can cook on. I'm probably missing it. There's gotta be one, right? Right.
What you looking for?
A place to cook. Place to cook, my friend. So we're gonna waste 1.5 silver making this fire. Because I'm gonna not keep the flint. I'm gonna sell it back. I can't keep that in inventory. That's it. That's ridiculous. Okay, now we'll cook these fish and then go turn in these 2 quests. I mean, maybe we're gonna hit 250, which is a nice, like, milestone for cooking. That puts us as though we were level 50. There we go, we did hit it. And it still can get some more. And spiced chili crab and tender wolf steak are both on the recipe books for leveling us up. And they're orange, so that means we could probably get at least to 70 with the recipes that we have here. Oh, we're at 251. Look at us. I like that too, that our mithril head trout are still getting it, because obviously that's a fish that's still popping up for us. The fact that we get something from it. It's good. What's my most embarrassing moment
Got the good stuff, man.
as a demon hunter? I'm sure I had some, because my demon hunter vengeance was my mythic Horde character that I got deep into the mythic tiers with. That was my mythic tank. That's where I really learned the fights a lot. I would say I was pretty solid. Now I had some pretty sloppy moves in Bastion, bad pulls when I was first learning how to tank with it. That would probably qualify as embarrassing, but you kind of give yourself a little bit of grace when you're learning. I do remember my most memorable Demon Hunter, well, it wasn't even actually mine, it was with my son. He was really, really frustrated. There is a fight, I think it's a Heritage Armor quest line for maybe, no, it can't be because he was a Demon Hunter. So it was some quest line he was doing, and he was a Havoc Demon Hunter, and you had to go into Thunder Bluff, and Thunder Bluff was under attack. And while it was under attack, you had to like go into the middle rise and fight these corrupted Tauren. And he was just getting his butt handed to him. He could not beat it. He was at peak young boy frustration. And I can just remember having to come in there and help him out. Add a few more, but we're really getting close to finishing this zone. So Broken Tears will be done, and now we're going to do Gizmo for Warug, which is going to be an instant pickup turn in. I can kind of already anticipate how this is going to go, which then that will give us it's either Shaka or Gen. Don't remember. It doesn't say, it just says next in the chain. It's one of the two cons. And then we'll go kill that, and then it will be the final con Hratha. So we're getting very, very close to ending this zone and being completely done with Desolace as a Horde character, which is cool. Huzzah! Then we'll do a couple dungeon runs over the next few days, like I mentioned before. So by Wednesday, we'll be done with Razorfen Downs. We might finish all of Scarlet Monastery in a single day. Let's just be safe and call it a couple days. Yeah, so by next weekend, we'll be starting this process again with the Alliance. In that time, she will also pause to do her quest. We'll also do some Warlock reading, because she'll hit 40 in this grind as well. She'll have to do those dungeons. There's another one of those Deep Striders we'll come back for later. And this took us, it's going to take pretty much the same amount of time for the old girl here. This took us 6 episodes to do Desolace, so it's more than likely going to take her 6 as well. And then you throw in, it's going to take, let's just say, 3 episodes for dungeons, so we're going to call it 9 episodes. That's another thing. Let's look at what we require for the Razorfen Downs. So we've already done this, so we have to pick up an Unholy Alliance and then just walk it over 2 feet to do Bring the End. I kind of want to do that today. It's going to really depend on time. I have a finite amount of time. I have to be out of here in about an hour. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no flexibility on that, so we're going to have to stop whatever we're doing. But I hope we're going to be done before that.
If you are not our enemy, then you will do what I ask. You got the tears. Now the Gilkins will know that the Feroundras will not help them. She will not cry when we question the Magram will rule. You are smart to help us, Gleekan, so we are the strongest. Long ago, a little gnome came to Desolace. He had horses and a cart, and the cart held strange things. Funny things, things that burned different colors, things that moved and weren't alive. I killed the little gnome, but before that, he made me laugh. I kept my favorite thing from his cart. It was a human made of wood, and it waved at me until I hit it and broke it. I want a new one. Give me a new one.
Yeah, these guys are idiots.
If you are not our enemy, then you will do what I ask, he says again. Yes, this is what I had. I will make it move again. It makes me laugh. Ah, let us see the wooden human move. Wave. Okay. There it is. The dude's standing right above it. Mechanical. Ah, that was funny. Funny wooden human. You helped the Magram, and I like you. Now kill the Khan of the Gelkis. He is Khan Shaka, and I want his head. I want to stare at his head and laugh at him. Alright, so now we're going back into that cave. This is even going to be a deeper delve into this cave than we did before. And this is truly... You might have been able to, like, finagle your way into not killing mobs for those broken tears. This is a whole different beast. Alright, so we just go turn that one in, and then you do bring the end. So that is a quest we have to pick up before that. Scourge of the Downs and Extinguishing the Idol are picked up within the dungeon. There's no prerequisite there, nothing to do there. And a Host of Evil is... That's the only one. I can't remember where you pick it up. Okay. It is picked up... See, it says it starts Miriam Moonsinger. So, if you look at it, I believe it actually starts outside the dungeon. So a host, yeah, Scourge of the Downs. So a Host of Evil we can actually do outside, and then you have Scourge of the Downs. I don't know what I'm doing there. And then that's like a, hey, do you want to do this quest? And then you say yes, and then you pick up the next one. So that's a little bit different. All right, so we have to go here, go back, and then it's just going to the Valley of Spears and going back. So we have just 2 quests. Khan Shaka, did I add that on to our quest walkthrough? I did not. So there we go. This is the penultimate quest in the zone, Khan Shaka, and then we do Khan Hratha once more. So it's going to partly depend on, can we get some help? That will be a little bit of our life here. So we're at 14%, so that's we're starting to make progress towards level 42 also. Pretty high level when you think about like Razorfen Downs. Razorfen Downs, well, okay, the final boss is level 41, so we're fine to do it. And then when you do the Scarlet Cathedral, final boss is 42. So we will most likely be, I don't know, that will even be to 42 by the time we get to it, but we are appropriately leveled for all of Scarlet Monastery. It's just, how can you get a group? Both times I did it, instead what I found was a full carry. And we might end up just getting that, which is a little bit lame because of the questing element, but there's not a ton in the lore. I'm also very happy because one of the things you want to drop, you want this pendant of Mizrael to drop at some point. Both of my other characters had it drop from the Scarlet Monastery. So the fact that we got it early is cool because it means I can pass on it when we're in the dungeon. Yeah, it's not worth wearing. I don't think you can own 2 anyway. Alright, so we're going to now drop down and go back into this cave. Oh, we aggroed right onto these bad ones. I should have done that. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and... Yikes. You use a potion. These guys are not helping me out here. This is not going well. Okay. Yeah, this is... Yikes. I might die. This is too much. Yeah, okay, so... Let's go ahead and run. This is a bad sitch. I don't even truly know if we can make it out of here, because
I was unprepared and aggroed all those guys all at once. Jeez Louise. Oh no, I'm gonna die. Whew. Yeah, they're still aggroing me. They're still coming. Maybe it's because I healed. And, yeah, okay. So that was bad. Didn't kill anything. It was also a rough situation because the lightning shield wouldn't have helped because the earth guys are too strong. Or they're immune to it. So it was like I can't even try to heal and hopefully win the battle of attrition. Sucked. I did not expect them to aggro right like that. So, and it happened right when that pat was right there. So that was fresh. But we lived, thank goodness. Yeah, these guys are annoying. Especially for our particular spec, since our damage comes from lightning, a big chunk of our damage. And these little minion rumbler guys are immune to that. So I think what might happen also is if we get unlucky with this run and we can't get someone to help us kill Hratha and we don't do it in the next hour or a little bit less, we can always finish that next time and then go start working on the exterior of Razor Fen Downs. It's a possibility. Hey. Yeah, these guys, I don't know why all of a sudden I feel like they're just hitting whole next level. Like I got weaker, I leveled up and then I'm weaker now. Should have done that. Yeah. And I do want to look at what my next spec is going to look like. So it's back in there, so it looks like we got to kind of weave around into this back cave. And I got to decide. No, totally the worst thing I could have done. I dropped that lightning shield and I dropped my mana too low to be able to do anything, and then oh, that was weird. Oh, it's because I hovered over at the top. Stupid LUI blows. It doesn't blow. The new patches have just screwed everything up. I'll have to update LVI again, probably. I think we're gonna have to go ahead and eat some food, maybe, for this. Maybe I want to. Uh-oh. I'm gonna back it up in here a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna eat one of these. Just get some. I would like to at least get my well-fed buff on before it's too late. Can I do it? They're about to aggro. This might be a waste of food. Got it. That's all I really wanted. Is at least the buff. Okay. Come on. Come on. Jeez Louise. I do not appreciate this. These stupid guys. Just gonna mine this ore real quick. Tink, tink, tink. Tink, tink, tink. This way. Okay. Alright, I think we gotta drink some juice too. I do not know why. All of a sudden, maybe it's like a rushing feeling or something, but it's like now I'm in this, and I just am struggling to fight, which is also bad considering we're about to have to go into Hratha zone. I do not want to fight these guys. They're so annoying. It looks like maybe we can come here. I'm going to fight as few as I can. Maybe it's around this way. I don't really know, to be honest. Okay, this is not the way. Opposite of Mando. Maybe it looks like it's... I gotta kill one of them. There we go. I was gonna say I gotta kill one of them too. I might have to kill both. I've got that lightning shield. I just... That's a nice crit. Good too, because now she won't run. The old Earth Caller. Okay, so another part of our experience is going to be how... Oh, there's so many of these Earth Callers. There he is right there. There's Shaka Khan. So it's going to be just clearing the way now. Get back into this cave. And then fighting our way out. I mean, we could... I guess we could suicide ourselves out. Alright, so this is... We will set totems up when we're in here. I'm going to clear this guy, and then we are going to go right after him. But as you can see, like, imagine trying to do this without killing any ads. Like, it's not realistic. Okay, we'll get this Mauler. Already the fact that it's going to be 3v1, I hate that for us. For myself. But sure, we can drop all the totems in the world. Well, we could drop 4. That's not all in the world. Here's another Mauler. So we have a Mauler and a Marauder with Khan Shaka. Luckily, none of those guys are healers. Alright, so let's go ahead and heal and then drink. I'm going to use another one of my juices here. And think about what we have going on. What can I use? So from this perspective, there's no point for the spells. We're not going to be hitting ranged damage either. And I don't think nature damage is coming our way. So none of our wind totems are going to be useful in this situation, considering we're going to have Wind Fury weapon on us. Okay. Mana Spring totem. Yes. It might be better for me to have the Stone Skin totem since I'm going to be taking so many hits. Oh my gosh. Well, I'd rather have that happen now, I guess. Okay. And we got a Nectar back, so that's great. Okay, so Mana Spring totem, the damage resistance totem, and I guess I could just drop Searing totem too. Okay. Alright, so we'll wait for just a sec. Now let's get this going. Okay, I'm gonna get my Mana totem. My Stone Skin totem. And then I will drop the Searing totem when I need. I'm going to let this restore my mana for a pinch. I think we can do it. These guys aren't that tough. It's just going to be a matter of living long enough. I'm going to re-drop this totem right before we start. That one should be fine. Okay. Boom, I love that. Okay, so he's already running. Got him. Okay. That was... Okay. Alright, so good. Good on us there. My fire totem's dead, but no biggies. We chopped his head off. Alright, cool. Not as tough as I thought. It was definitely a good idea. My totem selection was choice there. That was good. Alright, now we leave this dumb cave. Never to return again. But would I compare this one to the other con killing quest? This is a much more involved and much more difficult, if not downright impossible to complete without killing a sizable number of centaur. So I would just keep that in mind when you're planning, and this is why I do Gelkus first and then the Magram. And this is pretty much the main reason why this quest right here. Alright, so I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to run my hiney off. Don't want to fight those guys. We're just going to smash and grab our way out. Okay, drop. Wolf form. Don't want to fight anymore of these guys. It's time to go and get on it. Alright, so now it's time to turn this in. And we will... I'm not going to start promoting until I can link it. So we do need... Whew. We do need that. Yeah, I've only got around 15-ish minutes. Not 15. 30-ish minutes. Before I got old. Big football game to start watching. Football Sunday. Love it. Love this time of year. Otherwise, I'd probably push it to the limit and just be like, yeah, screw it. So, let's just see. Just looking, they just did the injury report, but nothing unexpected. Depth guys and one of the linebackers are out, whereas one of the cornerbacks is out, and depth guys for them. So they're missing one key defender. We are missing one key defender. And other than that, it should be a good matchup. There's this caravan that we've already helped out. Again, there's a couple recipes they have. I believe the recipes that they sell can be got in other places, so not that worried. And we still have a pretty nice chunk of recipes. At 252, we're sitting pretty dang good. I'm not really worried. Just from fishing alone, I mean, sure. Sagefish Delight, mithril-headed trout, getting tender crab meat, there's a chance we'll get that. That's probably a more common thing later on, higher levels. When you're in the 50s killing Naga and stuff, you could probably get some of that. Alright, so let's check this bad boy off. Con Shaka is going to be done, and we're going to pick up the final quest in the zone, Con Hratha 2, and we are doing great. I love that so much. And we're going to start our promotion in zone, but I don't want to really promote that much out of zone, even though time is not on our side, until I have the mouthpiece. So I at least want to be killing... But the problem is that I don't want to wait too long, because then we're going to have to wait on someone to transport themselves over to where we're at. So I think I'll give it around 15 minutes of grinding, regardless of how it goes, and then I will start advertising that also. unless we get someone, no matter their level, unless we get at least one helper in zone to do this quest, then I will just worry about that.
Do task for the Magram and I will help you. Khan Shaka is dead. I will place his head on a pike and keep it with me so Shaka can see the strength of the Magram. The Gelkis clan is dead, and now the Muradin will fall. Kill the Muradin clan, Hratha. To face him, blow the horn on the high bluff in the Valley of Spears, but to blow the horn, you need a mouthpiece. To get a mouthpiece, kill Muradin Centaur. Keep killing until you find a mouthpiece, then blow the horn. Do this, and Muradin Centaur will come to the tower. Kill them until Khan Hratha appears. Hratha holds the piece of the key. Give this piece to me.
Alright, here we go. We've done this one already, but get a slightly different reward this time. Let's see what the options are. So the belt is a leather belt with 17. We are currently wearing a leather belt that's better. The back is an 11-point back. It is better than our back. So Intellect Spirit is a healer's back, whereas ours is an agility stam, but I still would take it. So we will switch over to the Ceremonial Centaur Blanket after this quest. So we will have a... I wish it said the word Magram in it, but anyone that really knows will look at those two pieces of gear and be like, what? You did both? Which is cool. So we will get a new cape out of this. So that's a good thing. Both of these quests will give us an upgrade. Alright, let's try the remote. And the other cool thing is, doesn't matter which Khan Hratha quest you're on, we can still help each other, whether you sided with Magram or Gelkis. For all intents and purposes, you're going through the same motion when you do this quest. So we now, hopefully, will get, in the next 10 to 15 minutes, we will get the Warhorn mouthpiece to drop. Last time we had really bad luck with the RNG there. I've had RNG in this case is true random numbers. I've seen it happen. The last one we did was really bad, and it's the worst drop rate I've seen. So I feel like, doesn't that mean we're due for a good drop rate? If only it worked that way, right? It's inconsistent. Who knows what's going to happen? No one in zone is responding. Every couple minutes I'll put that blast out. We'll keep broadcasting beepity beep beep beepity beep beep. I should actually put something out there, but we have a little bit of time still. No time to really... We have around half an hour, so it's not time to start pooping our pants yet. But the bottle is getting a little tight. I'm also kind of worried about how we're going to handle this Razor Fen down situation. The way that it's shaping up right now, if we like wham bam get this mouthpiece right away, someone comes out and drop, and we still have 15 minutes left on the episode, cool. We'll go to the Undercity, and we'll pick up that other quest and be all set for Razor Fen Downs, and I will not start that until we get there, like until we start working on it. And I'll worry about killing the people outside after. The other scenario happens where we don't, even in the 30 minutes, we don't get this mouthpiece, we don't get help. If that situation comes before us, then we will pick up here on the next episode, finish this, and then get ready for Razor Fen Downs, including doing the exterior dungeon where we're killing the elites outside the dungeon out in front of it. And then save the actual killing for another time. So this is all rehash. This is exactly like it. There's nothing different about which one you do it on. The only thing that's going to be better for us is we don't have to worry about the escort that I banged my head up against on the last episode, or 2 episodes ago. We don't have to worry about that. We're just killing Muradin. They're the strongest of the centaurs. We get our punch. So work on my upgrade. Oh, I actually got one. I'm actually punching for damage. And we need the mouthpiece, which is the only reason why I am like actually systematically killing my way in instead of trying to look for gaps in the defense or whatever, areas I could kind of burst through. Because we gotta kill him anyway. So let's put a macro out. Okay, got another punch of unarmed. So yeah, we're not even considered level 30 yet, but I mean, I will take these unarmed pieces. Really wish we had that mouthpiece. Now it's a level 42 quest. It doesn't say elite there, but maybe it is. Can't open. Does it? Oh, it does consider itself an elite. It just doesn't show it right there. 34. Basically like 27. They have us netted. Great. Alright, mouthpiece hunting. Mouthpiece hunting. I have had more than one situation where I have same thing, they're looking for that giant, the wandering giant, like they were before. I don't know why people, there's a lot of them. I think people think that's tougher than it is to find. We found it pretty fast. Yeah, you just kind of look around. We've seen one today, I didn't just seen one. I mean, we're getting some XP from this. Right now, we're at 20% of the way into 42. We're getting a little bit. We've long burned through our rested XP. That's going to happen when you do this grind. I will. We're back to having a kind of a surplus of juice, so I will. Yeah. Oh no, Andy resisted. Not only did I waste mana, but pulled me into a fight that I maybe would have drank some juice or whatever for first. Come on. Let's do this. Boop. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Okay. Drinking the water. You know what? Let's eat these again too, because this will help our spirit. And dagger. I guess, yeah, I've seen some warriors using daggers for DPS. I think it's weird. But what the freak do I know? What the freak do I know, right? Back to punching. Alright, so we are now up to level 27 as a puncher. Does that matter? No. Come on, mouthpiece. I haven't really been keeping track of how many we've killed, but I think it gives us something to kind of keep an eye on. Ba 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 ba. I'm very happy when that we don't have to do that escort. That was really rough for us last don't know what this guy's talking about. Yeah, I wouldn't want that. Pretty good. Life is kind of low. No mouthpiece there. I don't know if one is better at dropping the mouthpiece, if any are particularly better. Probably not. I would guess no. This is where we just kill the Maraudine, and we want the tip to the horn, or the mouthpiece to the horn that you blow. That's right there. You can kind of see the horizon up there. I don't know what the overall drop rate is. I could look it up, but I don't want to stop fighting to do it. But yeah, he's like one life left. She. Well, thanks for the sweet nectar. I love me some sweet nectar. Okay, so what is this called? Hratha? Hratha. Okay, so if you look at the Hratha quest line, you need the Warhorn mouthpiece. And the heal's gonna get off. I hit the wrong shot. Okay, so because I'm trying to look up to see if I can find the drop rate on this mouthpiece, which is kind of silly. Like, just do it. It's not gonna make anything in my life faster. But it says, yeah, they're just talking about the. This guy says they've grinded for an hour and a half, so that's the other thing. Like, it could happen, you know. Like, the grind could be that bad. There's just nothing we can do about it. Yeah, this guy says if you're okay dying twice, and that's true. You can die. What is that guy? Did somebody just finish it? Maybe it was an alliance and they couldn't hear us. Because if they're working on that, I'll go help them. Because then I could just get it that way, we won't even need the mouthpiece. They have the mouthpiece, great. Because this would just be the answer to our prayers. Oh, he's just helping. Alright, so they're just messing around. But that would be great, because that would be a second person in the area. That would be really good for us, because we're this is actually what's gonna kill us unless we get this in the next couple drops, like the drop rate on this stupid mouthpiece. That is what could hurt us. And I can't find... What is it called? It is called the Warhorn mouthpiece. Alright, so let's look that up. Not ear horn, I put ear horn, which is an actual thing. Okay. Let that guy go after his. Alright, so this has a drop rot marauding con guard. Drops it. Other than that, the scouts, the advisors, but those are all... Yeah, so we're seeing these wind chasers. The wind chasers are the worst one with a 2% drop rate, so it says. The maulers have a 4%, so it looks as though the maulers are a little better. Yeah, the wind chasers are the worst. I think it said that the scouts have a 7%, but that's all based on... It's so random. Probably 2% is like the actual best guess for all this. And now I'm in a bad sitch. Thanks. Okay. Why can I not freaking hit for my life? I just don't get it. Jeez. Maybe drop this turtle a little bit here. Alright, that person swooped in to help me, which I'll take the help. Sure. Drink another one of these to heal up. Didn't get it. Okay. Another couple we didn't get. These centaur. These centaur, they're gonna be the death of me. Literally in game. Okay, the Wranglers, what's their... They're at a 3%, so not great, supposedly. Yeah, the Con Guard, like, that... I don't even know where the Con... I thought the Con Guards came when you were fighting the Con. Like, how is the drop rate so good on that? Now, the Scouts supposedly have the best. Supposedly. So, that's a Mauler. There's a Scout. So, we'll go for the Scouts whenever we can, I guess. Because allegedly these are the best. There's a Mauler over there. With, I would say, then Marauder, then Mauler. Marauder being the second best that we can actually access, because really what it says is the Advisor and the Guard are the best, but those are the ones that only come with the con itself, so I think it's weird that they can drop the mouthpiece. I just find that very odd. Why would that even be on their loot table? Well, I'm intentionally fighting over this guy. So we never finished the discussion about all the negative things. So that fight, I would say, with on Thunder Bluff with the Demon Hunter that my son had, that was memorable. I don't know how far on the embarrassing scale it goes. Then that takes us to the cloth. And yeah, as far as Evoker, I haven't played enough to really be embarrassed about anything they do yet. Some of the flying maybe isn't learning how to fly, but I'm pretty good at the dynamic flight system now, so I feel pretty good. I like the way it feels. It makes you feel like you've got agency over how you travel, and I kind of think that's cool. So then that brings the cloth classes. Well, I'm terrible at Priest. I have a Disc Priest. I've ran that, and I've done Shadow Priest. Neither are particularly enjoyable for me. I have not run a Holy Priest, so when we do a Priest, we'll go Holy. Although I'm a little bit worried about that, but that is what we'll do. I haven't run Holy Priest in this game either. As far as... There's plenty of people out here. As far as mages go, I've never done Arcane, so I would making the Arcane spec happen just out of curiosity. Come on. And then the final part would be got it. So where's that dude I whispered? Hopefully he's right in the area, because now I've done it. We have the mouthpiece. If we can get help and beat this quest without too much of a headache. That'd be great. We'll see if that guy wants to help out. And I'm just going to kind of go up here and clear whatever. I'll ask the guild, and I could throw it in looking for group. So I'll throw it up there. I do not want to risk this with our limited time without help. Because if I do screw it up and blow the mouthpiece, you lose the mouthpiece and we'll have to regrind for another one. That wasn't that bad of a grind for that. No one is responding. So yeah, we'll just have to check it out and see what happens. This is sitting there for 9 minutes. That's actually pretty decent if somebody wants to come. I'll kill this guy. So let's see how powerful they are. They said they will help. We have 20 total minutes. I invited them, but they have have not accepted my invitation. Are they in my guild? Or are they looking? They must be just looking for group. Okay. So now we're responding. Yeah, that'd be great. We shall see how it goes. Oh, they declined the group invitation. Cool. So now nobody is... Oh, if only that guy was back here. Come on. Yeah, we are in desperate times. We're gonna need someone to respond to the call for help in the next, like, 5 minutes. 10 minutes, absolutely tops. Because we're gonna need about... Whoa. Okay, that person's on their way. Okay. Oh, they're a level 60, so that we'll be able to do it. This is a level 11. I mean, okay, so 7 stam, 4 spirit, or 5 agility, 6 intellect. I'd rather have that. So it's like a side grade on the necklace. Agility, intellect. That's cool for me. Trading out the stam spirit. So this is better for the healing, the Kotobone necklace. And I got the forest pendant of the falcon. Alright, so they're gonna come from Orgrimmar, probably gonna fly to Shadowprey Village. Alright, so that's me just explaining what we're going to be doing. If they have a Void Walker, they'll be fine. Yeah, that's neat that we got that necklace. I probably could have sold that on the auction house. But intellect and intellect is what kills it. Okay, so that guy responded if I needed help still, and now they're answering, so it just took a little bit. We have this guy flying, so he's now crossing over the Barrens, so we have a little bit of time. We should be able to just pull this off. He resisted my magic. Okay. So, I think with the level 60, I don't have to worry about using any of my buffs or anything. It's actually probably works out better because that guy was like a 37 or something like that, somewhere in that ballpark. So, there was a small chance we would fail. Alright, he's almost flown through. I think he's probably going to fly him down in here and then around. And we have 17 total minutes. Yeah, you know what we'll do, I think, on our episode next time is we'll start Razorfen Downs. I'll broadcast for a group the whole time. While broadcasting, we will make our way over to Undercity. We'll turn those quests in. And then we will still keep broadcasting and we'll do the exterior. And if within an hour to an hour and a half of broadcasting, we get a group going to Razorfen Downs, we'll still do it in the same episode. If not, the episode will just be us doing the other stuff, and then we'll make a second episode. It might take 2 episodes because of that. We're just gonna see, but that way we're not missing any of the original quest pickup and technical turn in Undercity, but also we're not, like, we're in that kind of a weird space. It's really about that. I would just say put everything else to the side and we'll do the other one after. But because of that one where we have to technically pick one up and turn it in Undercity, that's a tough one. Alright, so now they're flying through Thunder Bluff, so they're one zone away. We have 15 total minutes. So I might not even have the time, depending, to run over there and turn this quest in. It's going to be close, because they're flying through, then they'll run up here, and it'll be quick. I'm cutting it quite close. What's our actual record time? We're at 2 hours, so... Alright, so somebody else just offered help. They said they can help in a bit. Like, on a regular, normal day, all of these things I would take in a heartbeat. But, today, we are in a rush. The time is a-ticking. So, I got a later start today is what did it. I stayed up late last night. I kind of did a celebration. I chose last night to be the celebration of my birthday because that's coming up, but it's like smack dab in the middle of the work week. I have not had any traction. It's actually like I jinxed myself. As soon as I started wanting to get those last few subs that we need, those last 11 subs to get us up into the official YouTube like pay area. So, yeah, he's asking me. Entrance is 3962. All right, so yeah, he won't be able to head straight north. Well, it's good. They seem like they're in as much of a rush as me. Okay, he's landed. Kind of on the move, maybe. That dot looks like it's kind of sort of on the move. Oh my gosh, 12 minutes. Okay, they're on the move. At least they're 60, so I'm sure they have a fast mount. Yeah, he's going to have to work his way around the hills. Yeah. If they're not super duper familiar with it. Jeez. Now, once he gets there and kills, it's going to be fast. And I don't even care if we can turn it in or not. You can maybe. I don't know how much hill cutting you can do here. That's what's going to hurt us. If he ends up getting himself caught in the hills here, I don't know if you can... Can you go over the mountains and get in there? I don't know that you can. He's getting pretty close. Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know. I mean, at least he's still progressing. Maybe he can bop his way down. I kind of want to see him ride. There he is. I can see him. I don't know that he can see me, but... Okay, Marine applying this buff. I don't care about the... There he is. Okay. Alright, so we come up here now, and now we can... with 10 minutes to spare, we're gonna blow this horn. My. I mean, if we fail, we fail. Okay, so let's drop our... Okay, so yeah, they said they've never done this one. So I guess a lot of people don't do it, you know. Makes sense. So she's gonna get him. I thought there was 2. There is 3. So there's a I did just get a new mouse as a birthday present from my daughter. I got a new mouse and gaming keyboard, gaming mouse, gaming keyboard. So they should be. I actually was going to hook those up today, but then I changed. Well, it's not that I changed my mind per se. I just so I'm gonna go ahead and peel these guys off. Let's actually get this one. Okay. Yeah, I want to stop her from healing. Looks like, oh, she already took down the elite. Nailed it. So we... Okay. So that helps me get out of here with being officially done with the zone. 8 minutes, that is... Grab what? I don't know what they mean. Okay. Alright, so down to 7 minutes. Alright, so there we go. I'm out. Sorry to be fast. I feel like it's slightly rude, but that was a huge help for me. I do appreciate people coming in. I tried to pay it forward some yesterday. I had a, there was a warlock out in the Duskwallow Marsh, and I was just doing some of those quests, and somebody asked for help killing one of those elites that you need for the class quests. So I went and did it. Not quite the same. I didn't fly across the world. I was already in the zone, but when I can, I want to make an effort to try to pay it forward, because I would not be able to do this show if it wasn't for strangers. Like, straight up, the people out in the world, which that's one of the best things about this game. The people that play this game, that play World of Warcraft Classic, they are... we would not be able to complete it without them. I like being self-sufficient. I like the idea of follower dungeons. I like, you know what? Give me follower elite quests. That would even be cooler to me. But since that doesn't exist, you can't do it without others. And just how many times on this show, countless times on this show, have we gone to a quest and it's a group quest or an elite or whatever, we just wouldn't be able to complete it with one or more people. So many times, pretty much a minimum of once per zone. And it just happened again. It just happened twice in this zone. So that's cool. We are now done. We have another episode. I mean, I'm not gonna call it on that real quick, but we have another zone done. Now, Desolace is only done for the Horde. We still have to do all of this for Alliance, and we do have 2 dungeons, one of which is kind of a 4-parter that I want to also hit in that time. I just got mana burn and stripped me of my lightning. Okay, so I'm just running over here, and then we're going to turn that in at Hearth. That's the plan. We are in 5 minutes. I think that we can make this time. I think we can hit that turn Hearth log, and I can make it out just in time to set everything else up and catch kickoff. So stoked about that. I'm happy that we managed to get it. And so when we do the next episode, maybe it'll be tomorrow. If not, it'll be Wednesday. We should be able to get a chunk of Razorfen Downs done, depending on how it goes. You know, we might, if we have really bad luck looking for a group when we do it, it might take 2, and then we'll really try to hope that we can span Scarlet Monastery into one quest. That's going to be tricky. Look at all these guys. They just hang around these thunder lizards, and it's all good. They don't have to worry. That's one of the weirdest things to me, is that thunder lizards just don't... Animal mobs, and this is one of the places that's the most apparent in the world, do not care about certain things like the centaur. You could be a vicious, rabid, rampaging beast, and it doesn't matter as long as you too want to fight humans sometimes, or whatever, the factions, Tauren in my case, then they won't mess with you. Giant Tyrannosaurus, or whatever they're called, Devilsaur.
Do what I ask. Prove to me that you're an ally of the Magram. Khan Hratha is dead. Now the Magram are the strongest of the Centaur. We will crush the others and rule Desolace. We will remember you, Gleekan Soul, and you will be spared our hooves when all others are trampled. And we've got this cloak now. It's a green one. And we're going to Hearth on out. So yeah, 8 compared to the 11 that we were at. That's a pretty good 23 to 28. It's actually a nice upgrade of cape. Okay, so now I can officially say it. We have another episode in the pipe, 5x5, and we have another zone in the pipe, 5x5. Thank you everybody so much for watching, for listening, and for tuning in. And I'll see you guys next time on Lore of Warcraft.